December 1995, the end of a year. What did the end of the year bring? I was still dating the woman from the local blood bank. Um, excuse me. And that's all I can remember. Working at Frame Art. Not Frame Art, Illyria Arts. Still picture framing. And my stepbrother was working there. He worked there for a short time. And that'll come up again shortly. But let's jump into the books that I read in December of 1995. And the first one was The Robots of Dawn by Isaac Asimov, part of the Robot series. These are science fiction mysteries. And I can never remember the names. Detective Elijah Bailey and his robot partner is R. Daniil Oliva. Something like that. Anyway, excuse me. There's a case of roboticide, and our characters have to solve it. And it's a pretty thick book because it's Isaac Asimov. He can be wordy at times, although never. His reading is so smooth. His writing is smooth. When I read it, it's smooth. But this has a woman in love with a robot in it, and it says let's see, Earth's right to pioneer the galaxy is in a delicate balance unless they can solve this mystery. These are really good books. I love them. I love Asimov. And if you like sci-fi, you should be reading Asimov anyway. And if you like a good mystery, interesting mystery, intricate, without being bogged down, these are really good books. The second book I read in December of 1995 is The Official Guide to the X-Files by Brian Lowry. And it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's an episode guide. It's volume 1. I don't remember how many seasons it covers, but it gives you detailed plot synopses and behind-the-scenes stuff. There's interviews with Chris Carter, the creator of the X-Files, David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, the stars of the X-Files. All sorts of cool stuff. I've mentioned before when these kinds of books come up that I enjoy this kind of thing. I like knowing all that behind-the-scenes stuff. Excuse me. Book 3, Robots and Empire by Isaac Asimov. That is the follow-up to The Robots of Dawn. But 200 years have passed, and Elijah Bailey is dead, but there's a bad guy that he and his robot partner thwarted who wants revenge, and how he's still alive, I don't know. But the robot partner needs to put a stop to the machinations of this bad guy who wants to destroy the Earth. But the big thing about Robots and Empire is that I believe Asimov used this book to bring together his Robot series, his Empire series, and the Foundation series. So they're all sort of brought together. There's plot threads, or not necessarily plot threads, but different aspects of the other series it's all brought together so that it becomes one big literary science fiction world. But another great book. Then we have The Princess Bride by William Goldman. This is my 30th anniversary edition, which has a new introduction. I believe there's some extra content. And this has a reading group discussion guide at the back of the book. Of course, the basis for the movie. This book is absolutely hilarious. And now we're back to Illyria Arts and my stepbrother working there on my lunch breaks. He's a big fan of the movie. On my lunch breaks, I would read from the book as I was reading it, and we would just laugh our asses off. For anyone who doesn't know, it's there's a kid who's sick. His grandfather is telling him a story, which is the story of the Princess Bride. And that is not just like the how the movie is, that's how the book is. It's so within the book, as you're reading the book, the story is interrupted by the interactions between the grandfather and the grandkid. And uh spoiler, it's not really a plot spoiler, but it's a book spoiler. So if you don't want to hear this, I'll give a thumbs up when I'm done with the little spoilery part. Because I don't have spoiler signs anymore. But here we go. Mute the video until you see the thumbs up. From this point on, mute. Okay, so in the book, it's one of the interruptions where the kid is complaining about all the kissing in the book. And this is a scene in the movie as well. But there's actually, it gives you an address, and you could send, I believe if you sent a self-addressed stamped envelope, it says in the book, if you send this, they will send you the kissing scenes so that you can read the parts of the story that the grandfather is leaving out because the little kid doesn't want to read them. And my understanding is, back in the day, you actually got like a form letter. You didn't get I think you didn't get the kissing scenes. You got a form letter saying that they couldn't couldn't send them to you for some reason or whatever. But I've heard that there used to be an actual response, and that's, to me, that's just amazing. That's such a great part of the book. But there we go. Spoilers over. So I love the movie. I love the book. There's deeper character development in the book as the Dread Pirate Roberts goes up against the three, the giant, the swordsman, and the intellectual. I don't remember exactly what they call all three of them. It's Fezzik, Inigo, and Vizzini. The Sicilian. That's right. Vizzini is the Sicilian. We get their backstories, so we get a lot more character stuff with them. We get Inigo's backstory throughout the movie because his whole deal, of course, is my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. But anyway, yeah. So Princess Bride, just a fantastic book, and my stepbrother and I had a good time as I read passages, and we just laughed. Highly, highly recommended. Next up, Aliens, Alien Harvest by Robert Sheckley. And in this one, we have, what is this guy? A scientist and a crook. Basically, the scientist and this woman, crook, team up, become sort of space pirates with a misfit crew on a stolen ship. And their big score is to get some royal jelly. So they have to go to a planet with aliens, steal the royal jelly, and get off alive. So this is one of the, let's see, from Bantam and during the Dark Horse days. So sort of the old classic, dare I say, Aliens novels. I think there are people that like consider these gold, the gold standard, and don't like the modern Alien novels. I know I've had plenty of negative comments on my Aliens reviews with the Christopher Golden, James A. Moore, Tim Levin books. Phalanx is the one by Scott Sigler, is the one that gets the most positive comments. But people just like dragged me for having anything positive to say about the other ones, and they seem to love these. I don't know. But anyway, if you like Aliens, read the Aliens novels. There's a new one coming out by V. Castro. I can't wait. And then finally, the last book that I read in December of 1995, the end of the year, was Dead-Eye Dick by Kurt Vonnegut, which is kind of a prequel and sequel to Breakfast of Champions because it takes place I believe, in the same town in Ohio. And part of the story takes place before what happened in Breakfast of Champions. Part of the story takes place after the events Breakfast of Champions. And let's see, the main character, Deadeye Dick, is a guy named Rudy Waltz. And he's called Deadeye Dick because back in the day when he was younger, he was up on this roof doing construction. I don't know. He had a gun and it went off, and the bullet traveled 3 miles and killed a pregnant woman. And he's been depressed ever since. And this is, I don't know that there's much of a plot, or if it's just, I don't remember much of a plot. It's more the characters in this town. But it's Vonnegut. If you're a fan, you're probably going to like it. I actually just had lunch last week, as of this recording, with an old friend who said he tried Vonnegut for the first time and couldn't get into it. I liked Vonnegut back in the day when I was reading his stuff. That's it. Excuse me. That is what I read in December of 1995. Question for this video. Think of an author that you really, really like who writes just different things, might have multiple series or might have just standalone novels. Are you interested in the idea of them bringing them together? So, obviously, Asimov did it way back in the day. Let's take a quick peek, see what the copyright on this is. Looks like it says Doubleday Edition 1983. So, way back in the day. Wow, almost 40 years ago. So he did it back then. He took his 3 properties, and he had tons of standalone stuff too, but 3 of his biggest things and brought them together. Nowadays, you've got Brian Keene, who, like everything he writes, is connected, but that was always his plan. And now he's writing his magnum opus, the 7-book Labyrinth series, that's basically gonna tie up everything, maybe, I think. I don't know. But is this something you would be interested in seeing? If Walter Mosley has the Easy Rollins series, and then he has other books, I think standalones. He might have other series. Michael Booker, you'd be able to tell me. Would you want to see that come together? Robert B. Parker, I believe, I'm pretty sure he crossed over Spencer and the Sunny whatever character. I can't remember what her last name was. I don't know if Jesse Stone crossed over with those characters. So it's something that authors have done. Is it something that you enjoy? Obviously, this is a question that just popped into my head. Last minute question. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, you can put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. If you care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronan5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is ErikSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That is all I have for you this week. So until next week, read more books.